you're looking for fun, if you're looking for friendship, if you're looking for love and all that comes with it, just look beyond the ropes and you will see.
Welcome back to Beyond the Ropes, the podcast. We are here with our brand ambassador extraordinaire, also known as the voice of the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club movement, Stephanie A. Roberts. Hello, Stephanie A.
Hello, 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 hello.
So, Stephanie, we hear you talking. We hear your motivational Mondays. We hear you sharing nuggets that are inspiring the women all over the world, not just in the Double Dutch world, but the young people that you talk to. We always hear you sharing your gift. But some of us don't know a lot about Stephanie before 40 Plus came along. We know that 40 Plus Double Dutch Club takes up a great deal of your time now, but before you heard about 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, take us back to little Stephanie. Tell us about your childhood, your upbringing.
I am the eldest of two children on my mom's side, and I'm the eldest of 8 children on my dad's side. I spent a great deal of my upbringing under the tutelage and modeling and molding of my grandparents. My mom was a single parent. She had me at 16, going on 17. And I oftentimes tell people I'm a product of a one-night stand. Oh. My mom did not know my dad. They knew of each other in high school. She got pregnant. She is the second to the eldest of a preacher. So that was quite interesting at best. And she came from a family of 8 children herself. Mm-hmm. So I was really like the youngest child to my grandparents. Mm-hmm. So I somewhat grew up with my mom and her siblings.
Okay. So what did that look like growing up in the house with your mom, her siblings, and your grandparents?
It was actually a really warm and fuzzy experience. I probably would not trade it for the world. I had a lot of love, a lot of nurturing, a lot of mentoring, and I was able to really pull from their lives a lot of different experiences that have helped me to become the woman that I am today. So I saw a lot of things that I now incorporate in my life. But I also saw some things learning through their experiences that I would take a different route in. So I found my childhood to be quite valuable, and it made me feel like I did have siblings, you know, even though they were my aunts and uncles, and we're still close to this day.
Okay. So you said your grandfather was a preacher.
Yes.
So you kind of grew up in the church?
All of my life, I was born and raised in the church from my mother's womb. So I think my spiritual foundation, I would probably say, is my most valuable asset. Mm-hmm. Because not only did it ground me as a person, but it also gave my life direction and purpose. Mm-hmm. Because although I'm a product of a one-night stand, my mother did not necessarily want me. My father rejected me, but I knew that God had purpose for me. And so growing up in the church, I wouldn't say that I'm a very religious person, but I will say that God has become the foundation of every single thing that I do.
Okay. So take us back to your school years, grammar school, high school, college.
I grew up in the hundreds, as we would say here in Chicago, had a very good experience with elementary school. I am still friends with many of my elementary peers and, as I may say, colleagues, so to speak. Very good childhood, old school childhood, leading into my high school years. I was really a city girl. we moved and transitioned to the South suburban area of Chicago at the end of my 8th grade year, which was very interesting because that put me in a position where I can find my biological father. So that was one of the best moves that I would say my mom made because, you know, my dad is a part of my everyday life. And then transitioning from high school to college, I went to Benedictine University, which is a predominantly Caucasian university. I selected that school. The school didn't select me. I ran track in high school, 4 years in high school, got a partial scholarship, and I got accepted and got scholarships at all of the state schools. But I felt like attending a state school, I may have gotten sidetracked, and so I selected Benedictine University, one, for its diversity. They had 3% minority, and I wanted the challenge. And I also wanted to graduate in 4 years without any distractions.
Okay. So you graduated with a degree in what?
I have a bachelor's degree in finance because I've always had a phenomenon for numbers and helping people better understand mathematics. I started out with a bachelor's degree in accounting, but one of my all-time mentors from Benedictine University, Dr. Chuck Kahala, says, hey, you have the gift of inspiring other people with your personality and your words. I don't really think that you would be good at crunching numbers at a computer, so you may want to consider maybe thinking about a finance degree versus an accounting degree, transferring all of those credits and allowing you to have a seamless transition that may be good for you. And that's what made me transition into embracing a degree in finance. And from there, after graduating, I embraced the field of real estate investments. I had a type 6, type 63 because I thought I was going to go into the investment arena, licensed insurance agent, as well as a licensed real estate broker.
Okay. So you've done a lot.
I have.
And you're also an author. A lot of what you just discussed is in the first book you wrote, right?
Absolutely. One of my first books, which I happen to have with me, which is called Pieces of a Poet. And this really is a chronicle of my life, how I was able to really take my life's journey. And I wouldn't say that it was painful, but as I state on the book, it really brought purpose to my pieces. When you look at a puzzle, we don't know how the pieces will come out or come together, even when we have a photograph of what it should look like, but there is purpose in all of our pieces. And so I was inspired by just looking at my life and how my life really spoke to me, and many people would share with me the way in which my life inspired them. I said, why not pen the book? I started off with poetry, so just doing poems here or there, and then bringing the poetry into a book form. And I said, why not just, start off? So who knows, that there might be a part 2.
So after college, what happened? Where did you go from there?
Well, after college, I began my career, and I met a gentleman at my church, and we dated for a couple years. We weren't married, but I got pregnant. I was 28 years old, and God blessed me with a beautiful daughter, Mariah Camille, which I think is one of my greatest gifts that God can give to me. She is 26, going on 27. She's blooming and blossoming and finding her way in this thing called life, which makes me warm and fuzzy on the inside. And a bigger bonus, in addition to having my beautiful daughter, is the Lord placing my husband, Alonzo, in my life at the right time, not even looking for a husband, and embracing me and my daughter as a package deal, and just coming in and really making our lives complete has been a super joy for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a super joy.
So you have your career, you have your daughter, you have your husband. How did you hear about 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, and how did that fit into your life?
Well, being in the field of education after, my journey in the arena of finance, my life did turn into another assignment. And embracing the field of education, I would oftentimes teach my scholars during PE how to jump double dutch. So many people knew that I loved double dutch from my childhood, and it was something very easy to teach. I didn't need a whole lot of equipment, and it was something that most of my scholars had no knowledge about. And so I was asked to, continue that throughout the PE class twice a week. And then one of my neighbors shared with me that she was a part of a 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, and because I was over 40, she asked, had I heard of 40 Plus? And I said, no. She invited me to attend a meetup, the very first meetup, which was South Holland. I didn't actually get out of the car. I wanted to check things out. I'm a Virgo, so we're very observant. We're all about the details. And I believe in inquiring before you jump in. So I asked her several questions, went out to that meetup. I saw that they were having a lot of fun, still didn't get out, but I had an idea of what it was all about. Then about a week later, some of my high school friends were attending a Matson meetup. Some of my church friends were attending this meetup in Matson. So I thought that would be a little bit more comfortable. I went to several meetups there, and I said, hey, I think I like this. Went several times, and next thing you know, I get a chance to meet the founder, and been all in ever since.
So you said that some of your friends suggested that you go, and so that's why you went, just based on their recommendation. So those are some of your friends from high school and church, and just friends that you had come across in your life. Have you made new friends since joining 40 Plus Double Dutch Club?
Oh, let's not talk about new friends. I have a very close, I'm so thankful. That makes me warm and fuzzy on the inside as well, because I do have friends in different venues. I have friends in the field of education. I have friends in the field of mortgage and real estate. I have friends from my church. I have friends from high school, friends from college.
Right. So pause. We cannot go anywhere with Stephanie without her running into said friends. Stephanie knows everybody from everywhere, every time we step foot anywhere. So yes, continue.
I tell people I get around in a good way. I tell people I get around in a good way. I love people. I know no stranger. I truly believe that part of my life's mission and ministry is to connect with at least 10 strangers, in addition to continuing to empower and enhance the friendships that I have. So being a part of the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, it really gave me an opportunity to get a whole new group of friends who are like-minded, in the sense that, no, we don't have a history, but we were able to build on a foundation of similarity, likeness in experiences. And not only that, but being in that age range where most of our children were adults. Some of us were transitioning in our professional worlds. And so my new friends now are more like my sister friends. We have intimate conversations about life, health, struggles. We vent sometimes. Sometimes we bump heads just like siblings do. And I think it has allowed me to grow in a different way, being a woman over 50.
And I know that during this, you said that you kind of pivoted when you went from finance to education, and you've met all of these new friends. You're doing a lot of things. You talked about your life's mission being to connect with people and encourage and empower people. You didn't mention anything about your organization, Open Your Mind LLC. let the people hear about Open Your Mind. We all want to open our minds. Let's talk about that really quick.
Absolutely. I am the CEO and managing director of Open Your Mind LLC, coaching and consulting, where I partner with women's organizations, schools, community service representatives, mentor groups, because my life's mission is to make sure that I am making a difference in the lives of youth, young adults, and women. Youth and young adults between the ages of 12 and 28, because no matter what people think, the moment you hit 12, you're really not as independent as a lot of parents think you are. That's when you need the most support. And I say between the ages of 12 and 28 or 29, because you're really still trying to figure this thing called life out, and you really need the tools, the strategies, and the methods in which you can take who you are, who God has created you to be, and really identify your pathway to purpose. The same applies with women. Many of us, we juggle so many things in life. We're all things to all people. We oftentimes don't have a space to really identify what our pathway to purpose is. So with Open Your Mind LLC coaching and consulting, that allows me an opportunity to use my God-given gifts, my passion and my love for others, to be able to create an opportunity for them to get those strategies, those tools, put together their shape. That means their spiritual gift, as Pastor Rick Warren says, their heart, their abilities, their personality, and their experiences to really find where they should be in this thing called life. So yes, you are absolutely correct. Open Your Mind LLC is another huge part of my heart, and I try to use that platform to make a difference and weave it in all other areas of my life.
And you do a great job of that. Next, we're going to talk about how you were able to weave all of that into your role within 40 Plus Double Dutch Club.
Really, to be perfectly honest, it has been seamless for me, because in every area of my life, I feel like it's a life assignment that is aligned to my pathway to purpose, which is making a difference in the lives of others. One of my mottos is, and I'm stealing this from Mahalia Jackson, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can tell somebody that they are traveling wrong, then my living is not in vain. And so the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club has allowed me an opportunity to just continue what God has placed on my heart to do. And it's quite rewarding to be able to encourage, inspire, and uplift every woman that I encounter at any and all of the meetups. So to me, it's just another opportunity to extend what God has blessed me with.
So I get so many messages every week about your Motivational Mondays. And it's really amazing to see how you're just using your gift for talking and communicating, and it's reaching so many women and helping so many women. How does that make you feel?
I really can't say that I feel one way or the other, because I don't necessarily do it for others to say, oh my God, thank you, you've done a great job. For me, if it encourages, inspires, or allows one woman to see her pathway to purpose, or to pull herself up by her own bootstraps, that's gratifying to me. I'm doing it as if I'm doing it unto the Lord. So I don't do it for people. It's good to hear that it's helping. That's extra fuel and juice to allow me to keep doing what I'm doing, because it's helping others. But I'm not sure that I personally get a feeling. I just feel good knowing that if I'm able to help somebody, if somebody is able to feel like they don't have to fall into the ditch because a word that I said allows them an opportunity to still put one foot in front of the other, then I think that is the most rewarding part about it.
Some of the sayings that you've had, we've used those. We have a couple. I think we have one on the shirt or two. What do we say?
No sister left behind. One group, one sisterhood, one movement with many locations.
And what's the one we said we're going to put on the shirt?
The one that we're going to put on the shirt is, as a leader, I feel like as an individual, if we're wanting to grow in life, we should all be checkable, correctable, coachable, and approachable. There should not be a situation where we feel attacked if someone is tapping us on the shoulder to correct us, because the way we get better is by way of tweaking and refining who we are, the way we're doing it, to be a better person for this world. So yeah, we're gonna get it on the shirt real soon.
I would buy it. I would buy it. So I know that as one of our brand ambassadors, you help keep us in line. A lot of times we find ourselves saying, like, if Stephanie's not around, we say, okay, what would Stephanie do in this situation? What would Stephanie say? She's always encouraging us to use asset-based language. Asset-based language? That wasn't what I was going to do. I was going to do something a little different. She's encouraging some of us to work on our facial expressions, our body language. I'm still a work in progress on that one. But I just want you to know how much of an impact you have had on not just the leaders in this movement, but on everybody in the movement, including the founder and the co-founder, and how grateful we are that God placed you in our lives and that He's able to use you to help so many women all across the world. And just to continue to show, I mean, God is doing so many things to show us that this is not just about Double Dutch. This is a movement. This is an experience. It's a sisterhood. And it has gone so far beyond the ropes.
If you're looking for fun, if you're looking for friendship, if you're looking for love